Hello, everybody, and welcome in to Geek with me, where today we are celebrating the conclusion of Season 1 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. The first season is in the books. We've covered it here semi-weekly, and I'm very excited to put her to bed, even though I've had such a great time with it. I'm Colton Robertson. I'm joined by Joseph George. What's up, homie?
Oh, what up, what up? Always a pleasure to be here.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you with the conclusion of Season 1 of A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm left wanting more. I don't know why it didn't hit me that like classic Thrones fashion. The penultimate episode is the episode or the finale, and then you just have a cool down episode. It's kind of it is the formula. It is just kind of how the things are, and that's kind of I feel this was kind of the cool down.
I can't blame you for kind of forgetting that would be the case. As you know, we are dealing with a shorter season. I mean, you know, we've famously had one 6-episode season in Thrones prior to this.
Damn, that's
pretty terribly received. And I would say that this 6-episode season obviously had a little bit more going for it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I can't blame you for feeling that way. I was interested to hear you say when we got on the phone call prior to actually recording here that you felt like it was a little bit of a mixed. You have mixed emotions about it. Is that just from a pure desire? Like you just wanted more, but what do you think could have landed a little better for you?
Yeah, I think it is like man, this is such an incredible jumping off point. Like this, I don't know if the story could have been condensed into like 2 episodes or 3 episodes, and then we got a little more. You know, I think maybe rushing it isn't as good. I think like if the plan was to have multiple seasons, then this is like a perfect way to just kind of build this these characters and jump.
I agree.
Off. But
I agree, and I do think it is in the cards. They are absolutely planning on multiple seasons. Season 2 is confirmed, and not only is it confirmed, it's confirmed for next year. Season 2 is in production right now. So they are doing television.
Things.
Yeah, they're doing television the way television is done, which is cool. It's something that we haven't gotten a taste of in a while. And I'm pleased with it. So that where I'm sitting, I'm really satisfied with season 1 as a beginning. You know, I think it brings about a really, really well-rounded story and evolution for Dunk. That was like the stuff he's presented with here in the finale is stuff that episode 1 Dunk dreamed of.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like, and now he's here and he's like, dude, I've had enough.
I don't want to actually. Fuck this.
Yeah, like that's and that's real. You know, he's come to understand Arlen a lot more too. You know, I think that there was this idea in his head that Arlen was a serviceable knight. He could have joined forces with a house and, you know, served a house loyally and just done that, but you know, it's a little bit of the Qui-Gon Jinn approach. It's like if we stay in our castle looking down on the little people, how do we know who we're protecting, you know, or how do we know what's right, the difference between what's right and what's wrong and what is good for the quote-unquote force, as it were, you know? He wants to be out there. He's a way seeker. And I think that Dunk kind of comes to understand it by the end of season 1 that like, this is the way.
Yeah. And was he never knighted? Is that what that last comment? Or is he kind of said it in a way that sounded like he was knighted, but he couldn't believe it took him so long. But he also worded it where he could have like never actually been knighted still.
I thought we had a flashback at one point showing Arlen knight him. That's why I'm like, I think that the dramatic effect of like the dramatic story Arlen was telling, like the way he told it was part of the bit.
Yeah, because I mean, like Dunk's one of his main things is like no lie. You can't lie, and if this is like the one lie that he has, that he wasn't actually a knight, you know, and he fought. Well,
that would make everything
you know,
Baylor died for him and stuff. Yeah, it would weigh on him a lot. Well, and it would, you know, the question for me comes to the point where it's like, how much more does that weigh on him than the weight of it already would? You know, like I come to this point where say he's not a knight, you know, Baelor dies for him, and there's this extra layer of shame just because he's not actually a knight.
Mm-hmm.
There's also the fact that like Baelor dies for him no matter what. Even if he is a knight, the weight of that on your conscience is going to be a lot. So I think that ultimately, I think that they were, they obviously very purposefully included the scene. Maybe just to indicate that like the story isn't over, like season 1 isn't the end of the tale. Like we do have more story to tell with Dunk and with Egg. And maybe that's all it was meant to say. And that's kind of how I'm going to choose to see it, because I if I recall correctly, I'm fairly certain we got a scene of Arlen officially knighting.
I remember seeing that too, for sure. Like, and I hope it, I'd rather him just be a knight and not have this added turmoil. I think like him just having a Targaryen alone, and the fact that it wasn't approved by his father, that this was Egg, going off on his own and just lying about it. That's like, I mean, I'd assume like Dunk, like it's not going to be too long before he figures that out.
No.
Or like someone will come up to them. Like I feel like
when it comes to Dunk, I'm confident that he already suspects and is just kind of like, you know what, fuck it. I think that there's a little bit of that going for him at the moment.
Yeah, he does say,
because he doesn't ask any questions. He doesn't inquire at all. He doesn't go, oh, what made him change his mind? He just goes, okay, if you're just going to go with it, I'm just going to go with it. And that's kind of how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. He who's the douchebag Targaryen? Is that Darren?
Darren is the older one who came through
that
and
took the hit, or
that took
went
the
down
fall.
On purpose, and then
Arian.
Okay, yes, Arian. That fuck. Oh wow. The train of saying like Arian, his steak was always cooked and rare and perfect and so prepared. He never got to experience the world, and then Maekar kind of leaving a little ambiguously of like he's my last son. That was a crazy bar to drop there. Well. So like
his last hope, really.
I think my overall feelings, I am left very comfortable. When I say like mixed bag, I think it is very, very largely me just wanting more, because it just, the other thing was every interaction that Dunk had, everyone was pissed at him for real. Like there was not many interactions that were
except for Raymond
out of here.
And
Lord
Baratheon was, what's that?
Like this girl Red.
Fucking hilarious.
I can't remember. Is her name actually Red? Like, do they say that out loud?
I think they might, but it's Roz 2.0, baby. You remember Roz from the northern horse?
That's so much better.
Absolutely who she reminds me of.
Why did I
through
think
and through.
like Red Woman? Like I thought this is she was just wearing a bunch of jewelry, bunch of red.
She's a straight up prostitute.
I like that much more. Oh my god!
And she's lying to Raymond about being pregnant, which is super fucking funny. They fucked, and it would have been last night. There's no fucking way.
It feels like a boy. Instantly.
And Raymond's just a fucking idiot, dude. He's like, we're gonna get married.
I mean, honestly, he just became a knight. He's on top of the world.
Good for him.
I mean,
he could do a lot worse. Yeah, he could do a ton worse.
Damn. Like, the only way it's bad is if she is a red woman and she gives birth to Stan's demon baby thing, that whatever came out, I
don't think he's got to worry about that. I think what's funny, too, is that, like, you can't really accuse her of being, like, gold digging because, like, he's clearly not well off. He's freshly a knight. Mm-hmm. It's not like he's not well to do. Now the Fossaways, he does have family who is well to do, so maybe there is an angle there. But still, I think they're not that well off.
Why does he look so much like Podrick and Jon Snow at the same time? I don't know why. Like they remind me of Jon and Ygritte a little bit.
A little bit.
and then like, but then also
purely
it's like
aesthetically, yeah.
And I like to believe this could be Podrick's like grandfather. What if this is
we could go down that route.
I bet that's actually probably known. Podrick probably I don't know. He's probably
he's from House Payne.
Okay.
Payne. The Paynes. Ilum Payne was a King's Guard. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. Ilum
So
Payne,
I mean, there's he was the guy who didn't have a tongue.
Yes.
And beheaded Ned Stark. Yeah.
Yeah. Fuck him though. Actually, now that I'm remembering about him.
Oh yeah, terrible guy.
But
so that's where I'm like, there's a possibility there. I feel like they're visually. I don't know how you don't think of Podrick whenever you see Raymond Fossaway, and he's simple. Clearly not the sharpest tool in the shed.
Yeah.
But he's down to ride, and he's a good guy. And when he gives Dunk a hug, you're like, that's sweet. We don't see a lot of dude hugs in Thrones, and I like that it lingers a little long. That's hilarious.
Dunk's like, all right, man. It's been
there are
actually
dudes,
10 seconds.
There's a lot of people looking.
And he's like actually in pain. Dude's just not doing well. Even the maester at the beginning of the episode is like, dude, he's dying. His wounds are beyond my repair. He's beyond my strength.
I love that Baratheon there is like, dude, you're a fucking idiot. Yeah. He's going to be fine.
Yeah. He's like, yeah, you're a shit maester. You don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
I love that he's like, don't worry, man, you're gonna be fine. Like how does he? Is that just optimism? That's hilarious. I don't know.
Like, maybe that's the best thing
stuck the landing on that portrayal for me, Lionel Baratheon. I love that character. I love the conclusions he comes to about the Targaryens, and I love that Dunk can't entirely agree with him because he loves Egg.
Yeah.
I think that's cool, but he makes a couple good points about how Baylor sacrificed nothing for nothing. He's like, it was a show. He put on a show, he paid for it, and that was that. We all fought for you. He's just the one who died.
Yeah, it's already rough. Like, I think there's going to be people going after Dunk anyway. Like, the fact that Egg is with him and not wanted. I could see, like, Maekar, like, kind of being okay with it. Like, a little bit of, like, maybe Dunk was right about, my kids are so sheltered, and this is just not the way, and he does say it like it is his last son, and like this, he's really holding on. But I think, I don't know, maybe this is kind of like the only way to save him in his eyes if he comes to it.
Well, and that's the thing, is that I think Maekar is ultimately, I love the balanced way they portray the Targaryens specifically in this episode. Maekar has been nothing but a piece of shit. Up to this point, we've been like, this guy fucking sucks. And don't get me wrong, I still don't think he's a great guy, but I love the sorrow he depicts himself with. There will be those who whisper for the rest of my life, I will hear for the rest of my life that I meant to kill my brother. That it moved me up in succession, and I meant to do it because it helps me. I'll hear that for the rest of my life. You'll hear for the rest of your life that you got a good king killed. Anytime anything awful happens, they'll say King Baelor wouldn't have let it happen, and and he brings up really great points, and then he goes, and then he makes that offer, like, yes, my brother died for you, and to recognize the validity of the challenge and not blame him for it, strictly. He does say a couple times, like, he did die for you, but he's like, Egg wants you around, and I want Egg happy. That's my son. This is the last thing that, he's my last hope. You've met Darren, you've met Arian. They fucking suck. And seems to affirm for us that our theory about Aemon being a sibling is not there. Is not valid.
Is he just not alive yet? Maybe. Maybe it is too far back.
I gotta think Aemon. I would assume Aemon is not alive yet, and that he would be maybe Egg's son.
He's the. I have no. Oh, okay.
You know, like maybe you know, maybe there's something there.
I swear you were right. Like he said that he gave up the throne for Egg, right? Like he was in line and then he gave it up. So
well, he says he gave it up. I don't remember if he says he gives it up to Egg, but on his deathbed he also remembers his little brother Egg.
It wasn't like I gave up the throne for Egg.
King
it was
Egg.
Just,
yeah.
Okay, at the very end he sees Egg. Okay.
Yeah, he sees Egg when he's on his way out. So that's the other. Is like, I mean, there's, you know, I think Jon, spoilers for Game of Thrones, is the 7th Aegon, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't know what Aegon we're on here.
Yeah. Okay. Wow. Okay. Yeah. I see that. I was kind of holding up. I'm like, where is he? When's he gonna, like at the funeral? You know, like all the Targaryens are there. I'm like, oh my God, where is he? I'm like, is he here? I was just trying to spot him, but no. Okay, that makes sense. And yeah, the one at the funeral, that, you know, how many fathers have died in their son's armor? That was like,
fuck.
I was like, damn. I was like,
God
shit.
damn.
So,
yeah.
The episode did hit. Like it wasn't a disappointing finale. It was just I was like, oh my God, no, I need to know what's coming up next. Like I am wanting.
Yeah, because there's not a you know, it's not a cliffhanger. There's no we're building into something straight away. You know, it's just they're going off.
Yeah.
They're gonna head somewhere.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, if I remember correctly, I think I read something that says that season 2 will be spent largely in Dorne. Which is cool.
Very cool. Let's get some
Martells. Let's get some Martells in this.
That's
bitch.
where he learns. That's where the ancestral sex knowledge comes from, Podrick. Like if this turns out to be true,
Raymond Fossaway is Podrick's great grandfather.
It just looks like it. I wanted Red to be like, damn. I mean, but honestly, he does fuck so well. You know, there was no mention of that. There was nothing to give him like the sexual edge. But I don't know. Maybe he learns in Dorne. Maybe it's maybe he's not there yet. Maybe
he needs to be practiced. Yes.
Yeah.
No, I love the way he leaves the horse with Raymond too. That was sweet.
Oh yeah.
I loved that. That was a good touch. That's the thing, is that it was all just it anchored back to being very sweet. And I think that's a huge credit to the season, that it can balance a bunch of tones. Where originally we said, oh, you know, it's really adorable and it's got a different brand of comedy than Thrones typically has. And then to get as serious and dark and show us, you know, a little girl get her throat cut a week ago, you know, like that's dark shit. And then to be able to anchor it again with something that is very, very sweet and cute, and as sweet as this finale was. I don't know. We just don't get that a lot in Thrones, and I appreciated it greatly. I think that Caffrey, I think it's Alex Caffrey, if I'm not mistaken, Caffrey. He's the main guy playing Dunk.
Oh, I was looking like down the list of like, who is this, and it's okay, yeah, Claffey,
Peter Claffey.
Peter
yeah,
Claffey.
There we go. Yeah, Peter Claffey. I mean, he anchored himself as one of my favorites in Thrones. Period. Character-wise and portrayal-wise, I think that this is a guy who hadn't really made a name for himself, which is, again, extremely in the same vein as a lot of our main protagonists in previous Thrones material. Kit Harington wasn't anybody. Sophie Turner wasn't anybody. Amelia Clarke wasn't anybody.
True.
Emma Darcy was a working actor, but not a big name, and same for Olivia Cook, and you know, like all these really, really big big names. Wow. I think Peter Claffey is going to find himself to be a little bit busier in the future. I think he did a really, really talented. He was a really, really talented guy, and he did a really great job. And Dexter Soul Ansel as Egg, he got to dig a little deeper this week. I loved the moment where he was thinking about killing his brother, and then his dad catches him and doesn't even blame him.
Wow. Yeah, he's like, he knows it's gonna come. Like he knows it's gonna happen, and he's just like, all right, He doesn't even grab the knife. He just puts his hand on his shoulders, and he's like, all right.
Puts his hand on his
all
shoulder,
right,
gives him a hug.
I understand.
You know?
He's like, yeah, no, I get it. I want to kill him too. I can't. We can't do that.
Do
he's
that.
Like, that's just something. That's a rule. The kind of hard line in the sand.
Can't murder. Can't murder brother. Can't murder son. Yeah.
But man, Dunk's like, he's not in good shape, bros. He said he lost his foot. Like I know he got fucked up like in the battle, but like, is it clean off? Like
No, he could have lost his foot.
Okay.
Makar, the threat was that if he didn't stand the trial, they would take the hand and foot that struck his son.
Yes. Okay, that's right. I'm like, is he actually walking on one foot right now?
No.
Holy shit. Okay.
No amputation necessary for Dunk here. Yeah, he made it out not unscathed. But he just keeps on kicking, man.
I don't know how permanent that eye damage is. It looked pretty bad. I think
look bad.
Yeah, maybe that is just one eye. Oh, Duncan the Tall. Is this a hound or the giant? Is this the grandfather of the Hound and Mountain? I don't. I'm just trying to.
Got the size on him.
Big ass people. Who are there? Any other big ass people? That I'm forgetting.
No, not off the top of my head. But that's the thing
Hodor.
too, is that
Hodor's that grandpa.
Well, I think there will come a point whenever. I mean, I imagine this is me banking long term. Mm-hmm. Dunk could die. Like that's also like could die young. That's not like Egg won't die young. See, that's something I'm confident in. Like Egg's gonna. Egg will be king one day. That's something that I'm certain of. But if Dunk is there to be a king's guardsman, that not sure. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like he could die before then, which makes the show all the more intriguing because I mean that could be the end. That could be the ending of the show is that Dunk dies for Egg.
Yeah, like he is the reason he's on the throne. Like
Lionel mentions here, war's coming and I want you on my side. There's not exactly a ton that gives us a lot of indication politically what's happening on a grander scale. At this time, which I think is really interesting. Like it is such a small story that when it comes to the larger kingdom's politics and, what upheaval is occurring, we don't really have any knowledge of.
I mean, I guess we know the North unifies, and I guess but Dunk was under the assumption that it was the Seven Kingdoms, so it was 7 kingdoms before, but now it's 9 in this moment, and then it goes back to 7, unless we were wrong the whole time while watching Thrones.
Well, and that's what's funny is that
9.
like he mentions nothing but stuff that we are fully aware of. He mentions the Westerlands, the Crownlands, the Riverlands, the Reach, the North, Dorne, Iron Islands, the Vale. Oh, what am I missing? Is it King's Landing? Is that
King's Landing?
Or is King's Landing a part of a different kingdom? I can't
that's
remember.
True. Well, I don't know. I guess I'm googling the 7 kingdoms of Game of Thrones, but it is actually 9. Let's see.
I'm sure that there's been discussion about.
Oh no, hello. That's not. This is culture.
That's a people's.
Do they not just have a list of all of them? Okay, here we go. The North, the Vale of the Arryn, the Riverlands, the Iron Islands, the Westerlands, the Crownlands, the Reach, the Stormlands, and Dorne. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, I mean that's
so.
Just,
this is something. This is interesting. There's a separate thing that combines the Iron Islands and the Riverlands.
The Riverland, yeah.
That's where like the Tullys are based and the Greyjoys.
Yeah. I guess the Crownlands is also a combination
of King's Landing,
Westerlands, and the Target. What is that sigil?
The Westerlands.
Yeah. So I guess it's like it's 9 on a technicality, but for real 7. Like there's 2 combo packs. that come with, well, I don't know, maybe does that make it actually more than 9 at this point now? Or yeah, this now I don't know what the fuck is true anymore about Thrones. But yeah, it's very I don't like I'm wanting, a lot of like, oh, this is their grandpa, this is their bloodline, but like I'm not actually holding on any true hope that this is like the point of the show. I think that this is like just a separate story.
No, this is just a funny little
like
this is a funny little aside to show how smart he is and how dumb Dunk is, and how go ahead.
Like, I think at least the main part of the story for me is it will bridge the gap on just the downfall of the Targaryen house. Like, we will see, we still have dragons in House of the Dragon, and then, eventually we do in Thrones. But like, the state that the Targaryen house was at the very beginning of Thrones, and then at the end of House of the Dragon, there's a lot of downfall still to happen.
There's a lot of downfall to happen, and I think that a lot of it will largely happen in House of the Dragon. I think that by the end of that show, I think dragons won't be gone. What they were.
They're on their own.
See, and that's the other thing too, is what do they like when they say like the last dragon? Do they mean the last dragon that fucking mattered? Because there's also the point that like they eventually started being the size of dogs. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like they eventually started being just like they were not growing to the size of the might of previous dragons. So like when they say the last, like I guess there could be a few of those like puppy dragons now at this time at A Night of the Seven Kingdoms, but
showing. I guess we weren't in King's Landing, but like I'd expect if they did have them out on a tournament, why wouldn't you want? I don't know. Maybe you just keep them in the cage. I don't.
It's sure. Like, well, at what point do they stop being something you brag about?
Yeah.
Like
it's like I can kill that thing right now. Like one arrow, man, might kill
exactly.
That. Like,
so that's where I'm like, it's as a show of strength, they come to a point whenever they're no longer a symbol of they're better off with their sigil than they are an actual animal.
They are the dragons now.
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
They call themselves like you don't want to wake the dragon. Oh fuck! That just boils my blood. Viserys saying it, and then this fucking God, I always forget his name. He's so Arian. Fucking But yeah, like I kind of am hoping that Duncan heads in the Baratheon direction. Actually, like if maybe they are just free wandering, but maybe the ultimate goal is like the end point is there. I think the way he leaves of saying, I love you like a brother, that's an interesting that can go a lot of ways in this universe. He was even saying like we'll do all these things, we'll make merry, it's like I feel like he's trying to like plant that idea in Dunk's head. I like legit I think like this dude actually wants Dunk, and he is, at least for the war, for the strength. But I think like no, both ways. He wants them both ways, and I think, I don't know. I wonder the amount, like the pressure that they are going to feel, that like they're being hunted, or like they're being like the word is out that a Targaryen son is. I
don't really anticipate that being that big of a problem for Dunk. Okay. I imagine that whenever, if ever, that time were to arise, as far as it coming to his knowledge that the Targaryens are looking for egg, they want egg. Mm-hmm. I don't see him being in a position to be like, well, then fuck it, we'll run. I could see Egg like begging him to, and then that would be a whole other, like his pride in like the idea that knights don't lie and they're thoroughly honest and stuff. Like I'm sure that eventually he'll be disappointed in Egg for lying to him about this, but I don't know. I guess I just don't see a lot of the dramatic tension in. I could see him being hunted, Maekar discovering that, or thinking that he kidnapped him and like took him against his will, but that's an easy misunderstanding to clear up extremely quickly. That's the thing, is that I'm like, I don't see it providing a lot of dramatic tension. I think they'll run into problems. I see these two as more of a serial adventure, as it were, like a little bit of a Mando Grogu thing going on, where they'll run into the problem of the week, and it'll be more like problem of the season when it comes to Game of Thrones. But I don't think it'll be something that's like ever really kingdom implicating, or 9 kingdoms implicating or anything like that. But
like we know,
I guess if you have egg
end and
involved,
start
it always
points.
is. But
It's like this is just the middle ground. It's like kind of anything can happen. Like, I don't know, to a certain degree. We just need to know an Aegon needs to keep going, or like to keep that bloodline going. And but like this is it could be a very, very cool way to like just get parts of the Throne's map that we've never been to, or like just let's just see what's out there. Actually, not at the castles, not at the we're going to inns. We're just going. I guess main. I don't know. Are those? I bet there's just some farmstead inns or something. They're not all in castles or they're like big. I think this could be just a really cool way to be like a Skelly crew, to compare it to like a Star Wars show. But I think I put it on a higher pedestal than that. Like this was like kind of it was
a great
it
season
was
of
very fun.
television.
Yeah, very short. I wish it was like the full shebang. Like I think this has kind of the gall to get there if
it has the juice. It has the juice if they want to. But that's the thing too, is that I think that I admire that they're trying something structurally different than Game of Thrones and House of the Dragon. And House of the Dragon even was structurally different than Game of Thrones with as far as the time spent within the story. We covered fucking 20 years in the first season or something like that. So like I admire that they continue to try to evolve and not just do the same thing over and over. And that's why I ultimately, when it comes to the 6-episode season, I tire generally of the television landscape heading in this direction. But if you're going to do that, do it right. And I think that this did, it doesn't force itself to be anything it's not. I don't think that we're dealing with something where I'm looking at a movie that was split into 6 parts and they just decided this is where we'll cut it here. 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 No, it felt episodic. It felt like a TV show. And that's all I want from my TV at this point. And I think that it paid off big time. We do plan on doing a little bit of a Game of Thrones ranking here. There have been 11 seasons of Thrones television now. Are you comfortable throwing a ranking at them?
Oh yeah, I think it's there's been enough time that I've sat with this show in my thoughts, and this at least like gut before I even like placed it around, I'm like this is middle of the pack, like, and that's surprising. Actually, like that surprised me. I thought no way this even will touch season like 6 or 7, like the worst Thrones god. I didn't even think this show could get there, like before it started, and then I'm like, oh, I ate my words very hard.
And part of that is that nostalgia thing, like Thrones is the original, and there comes a point whenever I had a tough time. I put together this ranking, and I realized I'd never really evaluated House of the Dragon on the same basis as I did Game of Thrones. Like I was like, oh, I guess I don't know where I hold seasons 1 and 2 of House of the Dragon in the Thrones canon. And those ultimately ended up being also pretty middle of the pack. So that's, because as the peak of Thrones is the peak of TV. You know what I'm saying? Like the first 4 seasons of Thrones are the best 4 seasons of the show and this universe. There's no doubt in my mind,
Oh yeah.
The bottom 2 seasons of television in the Thrones canon are the last 2 seasons of Thrones. They are 7 and 8. So like I had a very good, top of the list and surefire bottom of the list. And now when it came to the 5 seasons that make up the middle to bottom tier there, with both seasons of House of the Dragon, 5 and 6, and A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms. It gets pretty hard because those are generally as structurally and kind of messy some of 5 and 6 can be. The big moments and the big beats. I mean, Jesus Christ, how are you going to look me in the eye and tell me this is better than Battle of the Bastards Into the Winds of Winter?
Dude,
you know what I'm saying? Like
that's
season 6.
strong.
That's season 6, episode 9 and 10.
Yeah,
that's just 9 and 10.
strong.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's it's hard to compare things like that.
Shit,
whenever
that might break the top 4. That might actually.
As far as the
slot
big beats
somewhere
are
in there
concerned,
of
that's
6.
where it's. I mean, John comes back to life at the beginning of 6, and
Damn. I mean, it might actually. Holy shit! Season 6 is kind of loaded.
Season 6
The
is
Wall?
stacked.
Is that the Wall? Is that season 6? Like whenever they climb.
No, that's season 4. That's that's much earlier.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, with like Egret and
and
Tormund and all that, the wildlings.
Yeah.
That's much earlier. That's season 4, I believe. It might even be season 3.
Damn. Okay. Yeah, my timeline is just so off. It's crazy. I don't like you can place episodes into season or like it's insane how like you.
It's a little bit of
it's just a big timeline. It's just a blob of all thrones. And like
that's where I'm like it's tough for me if I'm evaluating it based on how much I enjoy it. That gets tough. If I can try to approach it again, it's art, it's television, it's not an objective medium. It's all subjective. But if I try to approach it from a perspective that's just how well done I think it is, not how much fun I'm having with it, not how much I absolutely love it, whatever. I do think I hold this in higher regard than seasons 5 and 6 of Game of Thrones, and probably higher regard than I do House of the Dragon season 2.
I'm there. I put this sandwiched in between like House of the Dragon seasons 1 and 2.
1 and 2.
I'd put season 1 above, but then I think I sandwich House of the Dragon in between the first 4 seasons. I think I put 6. 6 is tough. 6 might join that top 4 of the first 4 seasons of Thrones, and then like so it's just an onion of Thrones. The end layers is the first show just Thrones, and then it goes House of the Dragon, and then I guess I have come to the point that Knight of the Seven Kingdoms is mid to me, but I don't feel that's the case.
Mid Thrones is still pretty good. I've got it bottom half. Like if there's a top 6 and a bottom 5, it's in the bottom 5. You know what I'm saying? But that's
6 House of the Dragon. Yeah, I guess it is first of the bottom 5.
Yeah, mine too. So we have it in the exact same spot. So I'm curious about this now. So where I've got it, if I'm going bottom to top, 11 to 1, my gut takes me season 8.
Yep.
Season 7.
Yep.
This is where things get hard. This stretch of 4 here, maybe even 5, I have a tough time. Given any given day, sort of thing. But my gut right now is taking me GOT season 5, which is a solid. Again, we're at a point now where like, I'll remind everybody, I enjoy season 7, and season 8. It is what it is. Season 7, I have a fun time with though. We go north of the Wall, and we get the reveal about Aegon, and all that good stuff. Like it's a lot of good stuff. Season 5 has Hardhome. That's tough. That's tough. Well, season 5 is also Jockin. Season 5 is Jockin season. That's tough. That's tough.
Okay, actually, I gotta switch one. I did have 5 right here, right after 8 and 7. I gotta put House of the Dragon there and switch 5 and got House of the Dragon season 2.
See, I loved House of the Dragon season 2. That's the other thing is that like,
again,
now I think what we're making clear here, is that the only 2 seasons of Thrones that were even kind of like on are season 7 and 8. Everything else we are abundantly massive fans of. So I'm gonna go with what I have, and again, we'll take it day by day. It might be different tomorrow, but this is what I have today. I've got Game of Thrones season 5 at 9. I've got House of the Dragon season 2 at 8. At 7, that is where I would put A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms, season 1. Right above that, I would go Game of Thrones season 6. Above that, I would go House of the Dragon season 1.
I flipped you there.
I get it, but dude, I look back on, and again, I think experience has a lot to do with it. Season 6 was the last season I watched prior to being able to watch it on TV for real, like week to week. I caught up between 6 and 7. So
I wonder in 10 years, like when all the nostalgia, it's kind of all equal.
I wonder what it all looks like.
Out.
And recency bias does help, but so when it comes to House of the Dragon season 1, I will never forget how excited I was for that show to come on. You know what I'm saying? So there comes this point whenever I go, there's a lot factoring into my love for House of the Dragon season 1, maybe even beyond just what the show brought to the table. But I look back at Millie Alcock and Emma Darcy, and the fact that the first 5 episodes of the show don't even have the characters as we know them now in it.
Dude,
you know what I'm saying?
So cool you're right.
Exactly. I'm like, it's just and I think history will look back kindly on season 2 upon the rest of the show unfolding. It might still be looked back on as a weak point, but God, we did a lot of incredible character work. And again, I do have it below A Knight of the Seven Kingdoms off rip, but I really do love it. So, but regardless, I've got Game of Thrones season 6 at 6, House of the Dragon season 1 at 5, and then the top 4 are the first 4 seasons of Game of Thrones. But the order is the fun part there. And if we've got the same top 4, where do you go at 4?
My gut, I'm between, I think, 1 and 4. And the only one, Baelor is just kind of holy shit. Going through that for the first time, maybe that's all it is. It was just the shock, the pure, holy shit, this is a TV show I've never even come close to seeing before. But I think it's still, there's a reason why you feel that is because it's so well done. But then season 4 is just, we've picked up all the steam that the show has built up peak. And holy fuck, we're there. Yeah. So I think
when it comes to 3 and 4, when it comes to 3 and 4 on the ranking. So in that top 10, your 3 and 4 are 4-1.
Well, 4 and 1 are my top 2.
Okay, me too.
Actually, yeah, those are my top 2, and then 3 and 4 are 3 and 4.
3 and 2 are 3
2
and 4.
3 and 2. Yes.
See, this is where this shit gets hard. Yeah, too many numbers get floating around.
Top 2 is 1 and 4, and I think I settle on 4 being the top, 4 being number 1, and 1 being 2.
I'm there with you. I've got the exact same thing there.
I could kind of go either way on 2 and 3. I think I'll give the edge.
I give the edge to 3. And it's purely on the back of the Red Wedding.
Cast. There
yeah,
it is.
that's enough. That's enough. That's enough to go ahead and put it over the top of 2 for me. 2 is incredible. Wow. That's probably Tyrion's best season. That's when he is running shit. That's Blackwater. Yeah. That's the good shit. That's some incredible stuff in season 2. And but buddy,
dang,
4.
But 4.
4's got 4. We're talking. This is week after week. That's Oberyn Martell season. Yeah. By the way, episode 2, Joffrey dies. That's when Daenerys gets the Breaker of Chains moniker. That's when let's see, Jon Snow is going north of the Wall, and
Breaker Chains, Oathkeeper, the first of his name, the laws of gods and Tyrion's trial.
Tyrion's trial, man. Yeah, that's.
Mountain and Viper.
I mean, how do you
say goodbye to Oberyn?
We do say we say goodbye to Oberyn in the same season we say hello to him. So it's kind of watchers on the wall. I mean, Tyrion kills his dad in the finale. Let's be real. That's the greatest season of television that's ever graced our screens. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I have no doubt about that. I almost feel like if I'm ever itching for a Game of Thrones rewatch, I could just watch season 4 and be fine. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that good.
Wow. I mean, I guess the only two that we had different, we just flipped sets of two different sets of two. We just flipped House of the Dragon season 2 and 5. And then season 1 and 6. Well, House of the Dragon season 1 and Game of Thrones season 6. Yeah, there's too many.
It's too many numbers. It's too many numbers.
I mean, I guess the top and bottom, I guess, and then the Seven Kingdoms just finds its way. Yeah, I think it can't really move up. But I don't think it can beat.
No, this is its ceiling. Yeah, this is its ceiling. I can't comfortably tell. And that's the thing is, I think the show's got a lot of potential. I fear it might have reached its ceiling. I don't know how much better this show can get.
That's interesting. Yeah. I mean,
and it's not to say that I wouldn't be satisfied with a season of the same caliber. That would be excellent. And even taking it down a notch wouldn't be an L. I still would like the show a great deal. But it is interesting to think about what it's pretty high. It's pretty high. And that's why I'm like, I don't know that we get something better than this. But, following Game of Thrones season 1, I probably would have said the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like, I probably did say the same thing, in fact.
Yeah. I mean, we could just be in quite the golden era. I mean, we're cooking.
we are cooking.
Not the golden era. That's going to be hard.
No, the golden era is gone and it's not coming back. The golden era, I mean, the 2010s television-wise, Jesus Christ. We have no hope.
It comes back is if George R. Martin on his deathbed, not only does he release Winds of Winter, he then drops the Martin cut, my rendition of seasons 7 and 8, and here's 9 as well. Here's a fucking boom. I don't know.
We here available on Geek With Me, we did a week by week podcast of a rewatch of Game of Thrones. It took us forever. It took us a year and a half, and it was so much fun. We covered literally every episode of the show in excruciating detail. Mm-hmm. And we did the same for House of the Dragon. This is the first Thrones thing we have not given that treatment. And I think for good reason. I don't think it's. I don't think it needed that. I don't think it necessitated anything like that. But I look forward to House of the Dragon season 3 coming in June officially, and we will be covering that week by week in excruciating detail as we are wont to do.
Oh yeah.
In the meantime, we do have a few other things lined up here on Geek With Me. There's a lot of good television coming. You mentioned that this could be a golden era. Maybe not the golden era, but we're in a hot spot, especially when it comes to the nerd shit here for Geek With Me. Before long, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 comes back, which is actually Daredevil Season 5, however you want to look at it.
Man.
We got
fucking see this ranking and then now that too. I mean, holy shit!
Yeah, exactly.
It's too hard.
Lots of shit going on. But yeah, Daredevil Born Again Season 2 begins at the end of March, and we will obviously be talking that. It's nerd shit. We're here, aren't we? Let's talk about it. We also got Maul Shadow Lord coming up. Now that's something we will definitely be covering week to week. There's literally only one Star Wars television show we didn't cover week to week, and it was Ahsoka. And frankly, if I could go back again, maybe that would make me like the show a little bit more. The investment and the excitement of it and talking about it, maybe that would elevate it in my eyes. Maybe it's something we go back and revisit ahead of Ahsoka Season 2, which will come out at some point this year.
Wow.
But
not any hard date, just kind of 20.
No, not sure. That's late. I'm assuming that's fall. But yeah, so we got that to look forward to. But more immediately, Daredevil Born Again Season 2, Maul Shadow Lord, and then that will bridge a gap to House of the Dragon Season 3. So we've got a lot of fun nerd shit television coming our way, and we're going to talk about all of it, baby. Got Mando and Grogu coming in May. We've got Supergirl, Woman of Tomorrow. We got that shit to look forward to. I'm excited. I'm excited. So I think with that we can conclude this episode of Geek with Me. You can also find us at our movie podcast, The Cinementalists. That's CINEMENTALISTS. Where currently we are celebrating Black History Month, and we conclude Black History Month this Friday with coverage of the Best Picture nominee Nickel Boys, which we are actually going to be discussing tomorrow. Recording that episode tomorrow. Very, very excited. Yeah, I know. It's heavy. It's a lot. And I can't wait to discuss it. We will be talking about it this Friday on The Cinementalists. Nickel Boys is what we're looking forward to. And I'll announce what March's slate looks like on The Cinementalists on that episode, so you got to check that out. I'll give you a little hint. We're fucking with secret societies. Secret societies in March. It's going to be a lot of fun. That's on The Cinementalists. This is Geek with Me. Fuck with us, we've got it. Actually, as of the release date here, tomorrow is the year anniversary of us beginning Fire Pod with Me.
Yo, that's crazy.
It is. That show came and went within the year. Wow. It was our first effort. Since Game of Thrones to cover a show in full in a rewatch or first watch format. It was a lot of fun. If you've never watched Twin Peaks, you should check it out. And then we have a podcast for you. So there's that there. With that, I was Colton Robertson. I was joined by Joseph George. Thank you very much, homie.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure to be here, homie.
Oh, and it's always a pleasure to have you. And remember, fuck ice.